Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn something about the if statement. So let's say you want to write in a Java program which actually checks if a student is passed or he's failed in a particular subject. So in order to make a decision in a Java program, there are a set of statements which is called as the conditional statements, and we are going to study one of the conditional statements which is called as the if statement. So what if statement does is that it is going to check a condition which we are going to specify, and depending upon that condition it is going to give us an result. So for example, in this tutorial, as we are going to make a program which actually checks if a student is passed or he's failed. So the if condition is going to check the condition if he's passed or failed and then return a particular value depending upon the condition. So let's go ahead and create the program for the same. So the first thing which we check in order to determine if a student has passed or he has failed is that we check the marks obtained. So in order to save in the marks, we create a variable called integer. We create a variable of the type integer, and let's say we name it as score, which is going to save the score of a student. Now let's say the score of the student in this case is, let's say he has passed. So let's say he has 60 out of 100. So we type score equals 60. Now the next thing which we need to do is that we actually need to check if the student has scored above 40. So let's say a student has to score a minimum of 40 in order to pass in a test. So we type if, and if is basically a statement which is used in order to check some condition. So we type if, and then after if we are going to specify a opening and a closing bracket, and within these two brackets we are actually going to specify the condition which we want. So we want to check if the score is greater than 40. So we type if score, if this is greater than 40, that means we want to display that the student is passed. So after this we give a opening and a closing bracket, and within this we are going to add in the code which we want to display when the student has scored above 40. So we simply go inside and then we type system.out.println, and inside it we want to display that the student passed in the test, and if the student has scored below 40, then we want to actually display that the student is failed. So in order to do that, we are going to use one more statement which is called as else. So what happens is that if the student scores above 40, then he passed the test, else he failed the test. So similar to the if, we give an opening and a closing bracket, and we are going to write in the code which is going to get executed when the student fails. So we simply copy the code which is present right here, and we are going to paste it right over here, and we are going to replace this with failed. So let's go through the code once again what we have done. So initially we have made a variable called score so as to keep track of the score of a student. Then we have set the score to 60, and actually you could also accept the score from the user by using the scanner, but for the sake of simplicity we have just initialized the value of score to 60. So after this we actually want to check if the student has passed or he has failed. So for that we have used the if conditional statement. So we type if, then we have specified this condition right here. So if we hover on it, it is going to show us the condition score greater than 40 is always true. That means whenever he has scored above 40, this line of code is going to get executed, or else this line of code is going to get executed. So in order to check if our program performs correctly, we save the code, then we run it. And as you could see, when we run this code, we got the result as the student passed in the test. Now let's say the student has scored 30 instead of scoring a 60, and now let's check what happens when the student has scored 30. So in order to check the result, we first save the program, then right click on it, click on run, and as you could see, in this case we got the result as the student failed. So that's how you basically use the if conditional statement in order to make logical decisions in your program. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you guys understood the usage of the if statement. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.